All right, what's going on, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel on this Friday late afternoon. I did an Ultimate X preview for tonight in TNA on the Iceman V2013 YouTube channel. If you're interested, please check it out. If not, so be it. But this is another TNA video, and I watched a couple impacts from the first 2 weeks of January of 2005. Excellent, excellent TNA Impact shows. When you go back and watch some of those, you see all the talent that TNA had back then. And, we saw the likes of Chris Sabin, Christopher Daniels, obviously AJ Styles. There was just a ton of stars there. And it was so fun to watch. Jeff Hardy was there. Monty Brown, whom I was a big fan of Monty Brown. I wish he was still involved in wrestling today. But obviously, and you watch this stuff from back then, and then, I think so far this year on Destination America, TNA has put up some very, very good shows. But, with all this stuff going on with TNA and their pay issues, once again, I mean, I could understand it the first time around, but the second time around, I mean, my way of thinking is, there's no excuse for this. Being a big TNA fan, I'm very, very disappointed in TNA for all this happening. There are stagehands, there are just people that are hired to do things and whatnot, for short term. A lot of it has to do with the one night paper, the one and only pay-per-views where they bring outside people in. If you can't afford to pay them, then don't do these pay-per-views. Worry about the stars that you have signed on your, for your contract for TNA Impact Wrestling. There's no excuse for this, and I don't understand what the situation is with TNA, but the bottom line is, I'm getting a little discouraged here because this has been going on since late 2013. When we lost AJ Styles in early 2014, but we knew in 2013 that he was going to pretty much leave. Then we lost a lot of other people. We lost Kazarian, we lost Daniels, we lost Chris Sabin, we lost Bully Ray, we lost Sting. And then the recent ones were Samoa Joe. Obviously, they claim it wasn't over money. And now Taz. And now they put Sonata on the alumni as far as the roster goes, the great Sonata. And, it's funny because I was talking to my nephew, Matt, about Sonata. I go, I haven't seen him in a while. And then sure enough, today I read about him being put on the alumni list. So he's going. They claim he was on loan from Wrestle One, and his contract runs out, I think, in July or whatever. So they knew it was going to run out. So obviously they decided, to post all this now. But TNA, Dixie Carter, I know it's Panda Energy out of Dallas, which they have moved their payroll. The situation with the payroll went from Nashville now to Dallas, where Panda Energy is. But and I've heard rumors that people's paychecks have been sent out, 2 weeks prior, and they still hadn't gotten it. There's no excuse for that. And the bottom line is, I defend TNA as much as I can because I do like the product. I will say this: I like the product way back before the Dixie Carter era, I should say, not area, but the Dixie Carter era. I like the Jeff Jarrett era. They had a lot more superstars. They had a big roster. And it was a roster. A lot of people were saying, well, TNA was trying to be like WCW. But if you look at the roster TNA had, yeah, they had a bunch of WCW older stars, but they also had guys that we didn't really see too much of. And they built themselves up pretty big. And it's unfortunate for Jeff Jarrett because I think he probably found himself in the same position that Dixie Carter is finding herself in now. But the bottom line is you need to go out and either get a partner, that is financially sound, or, you need to make a move. I mean, if TNA is to stay in existence, something needs to be done because I think right now, as it stands, I think they're in jeopardy and I don't want to see this happen. But to me, right now, it seems like it's inevitable. I mean, I don't want to see the downfall of TNA, obviously, because I've been a big TNA fan, and I think, for the most part, a lot of people don't relate Jeff Jarrett to TNA anymore because it's been Dixie Carter since what 2007, 2008, and she got rid of the NWA titles and brought into the TNA, you know, the TNA title, which I had no trouble with that either. But I just I really feel that I see TNA slipping away, and I'm worried about it. Um, and you always hear Dixie saying everything's fine, everything's good, but the bottom line is, like when she said that she got bad advice about Hogan and Bischoff, she got bad advice about AJ Styles and whatnot. And AJ reported right out he never spoke to Dixie firsthand, face to face. It was through channels. And, when it was all said and done, Dixie admitted, she got bad advice. Well, it happens to you once and you're in a major business, you're in a major wrestling promotion, you can't let it happen again. And the loss of Taz, a lot of people think it's a major loss. I don't think it's that big of a loss. I'll be honest with you. I like Don West a heck of a lot better than I did Taz on commentary. I mean, obviously, we'll probably never see Don West come back again. Him and Mike Tenay were a great team, but I don't see Josh Matthews doing commentary all by himself. They either got to bring Tenay back or even, get Jeremy Borash there. And then, if Borash goes to Nashville and does the dub over of the announcing on the tapings, then you got to have somebody take over the main event announcing. The other thing too is like when they were out in the UK, SoCal Val, I loved it. I loved it. It reminded me of old TNA. I have nothing personal against Christy Hemme. I just don't think she is a very good, announcer. Um, she tries. Don't get me wrong, but I think SoCal Val, when she was there, just it brought back a lot of good memories for TNA. But anyway, the bottom line is TNA needs to get their act together. If you can't afford to pay these guys, what is your business? What is your right to go out there and sign them to contracts, knowing that you probably aren't going to be able to pay them? I think what it does is it ties them down to your company and it doesn't let them go elsewhere. Now I know in a lot of contracts, a lot of the stars get to do other indie shows and whatnot, but this isn't how it should be. I mean, I'm glad they get to roam. The bottom line is I think it's a lot better when superstars get to roam to other promotions. But the bottom line is if you sign them and they are your main superstar, and that is where their main contract is, you need to be able to pay them, and you need to come up with some sort of, you know you got to have a solution to all this. So anyway, this is the Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. I love TNA. I love professional wrestling in general. But it's like we're back in 2013 starting to talk about the negatives of TNA again because of all these issues that are flocking up. And I'd really rather not have to deal with this. I would really rather have them on solid ground, which I thought they were, coming into Destination America and their first airing on January 7th of 2015. Again, they've put on great shows so far this year, and I'm looking forward to the Ultimate X tag team situation tonight. But all in all, they need to solve this issue if they are to stay afloat in the world of professional wrestling. Peace out, everybody. We'll see y'all next time.